Okay, how are we doing? Is good? So in the chat, I've given you another link, and that would be for the responses. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is to add this to your folder. Does everybody have a folder in their Google Drive for my class? Okay, what I want us to do is take the time to create a folder for my class. Title it English 9, okay? English 9. I want you to create a folder in my class so that you can drop all these things in. So this is also going to help you with reviewing. Okay, so in a moment we're going to be talking about our quotes. So let's get prepared to do that. And then also, if you need to go back, what I would like you to do is to look at your resilience letter that you created, and then we're gonna continue with our bell work as far as talking about why you chose the character. Okay. So in a couple minutes. I'm waiting for one more person to drop a quote in. It's, Kahi, is that you? Are you almost done? Yeah. So go ahead and look at your resilience letter. I've graded it, so let's make sure that you guys check that out. I've written some comments. I think for Kalahikiola, I think I need you to retake the picture because it's too dark. I cannot see it. Okay, so all right, let's get started with this. All right, so we're gonna start at the top with Josh. Joshua, are you there? Where's Josh went? Background. Oh, there's Josh. Okay, so if we could all get onto the period 5 and 7 memorable quotes. So since our class is small, I'm gonna join some of these things, like if we're putting together memorable quotes or something like that. I'm gonna join period 5 and 7 because my period 5 class is like this, the same size as our class, so we might as well join together on some things. So what we have here is we have Josh. Go ahead and talk about your memorable quote, and why it's significant. Okay, go. Josh, you ready?
Hello.
Yeah.
The quote I chose is significant. You never know what's gonna happen. Hello.
This is bizarre. I don't know where that music came from, but it needs to stop. And then, you guys, section 3 starts at page what? Right. So you got to drop in a quote from 101 to 154. Okay. Try again. Okay, so let's go on with like,
I wrote the wrong page number. It's 107.
okay, I'll just change it for you. All right, all good. Okay, so Kahele, Aulani, go ahead. You go first then, and then we'll get it started again. Okay, go ahead.
I think my quote is important because I think it accurately like represents the mom and like her personality, I guess.
Okay, and what is this? What is the context of your quote?
Oh, I think it was when I don't know, it was just Jeanette talking about her mom. Like, yeah.
Right. So her mom is totally okay with being who she is, right? Regardless of, and she's aware of what people think about her, right? Does she care? Not one bit. Okay. All right. Caleb, you're next.
My quote is significant because like it shows that like the mom sees the dad more of a burden than a husband. Like she only sees him as a burden they have to like carry.
Right. That's kind of a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Okay. Next. So now it's Kalahikiola, correct?
My quote is significant because it kind of, I think it kind of influenced Jeanette to be more outspoken and kind of like know that she has to stand up for herself more, especially when she's getting bullied at school and with Irma.
Right. She's having a rough time at this point. Right. Her parents are on their own like big trips, right? Mom's trying to paint. Dad's doing who knows what. Kind of just disappears, yeah. Okay. All right. And then Alkahi, you?
My quote shows that the mom that actually does care for Marie, because like in the last slideshow, like she didn't have like the parents weren't there for her upbringing, but like the mom wants her to go to preschool and not to be wearing like rags.
Okay. So at least there's some level of decency, right? I mean, as minimal as it seems. Okay. And then we have Hayden.
My quote talks about how Irma was a pervert and she was touching Brian. And it kind of explain why Rex drinks and why he left home so early.
Right. So just before they leave Phoenix, what happens? Somebody tell us. What happens before they leave Phoenix? Hayden, you remember? It's on page 16, right? Page 16, predict how the family will fare in Welch. Consider Rex's reluctance to go, how the children are doing, and how Rosemary reacts to her children's needs. Okay, so what happens before they leave?
He doesn't want to go.
Yeah, and that's kind of odd, don't you think? Why? Why is that odd? Caleb, why?
Because like when the kids got like when Brian got touched and the kids tried to like defend him, he was like more mad at the kids for like fighting back.
Right, all of it is odd, right? First going to visit Grandma Smith because, you know, that's kind of like their last choice, right? Why did they have a hard time? Why did Rosemary have a hard time with Grandma Smith? Kahele Aulani, do you know?
I remember the mom was just like, just listen to her because I don't know, we're her guest or something.
Why? It's kind of the reason why they live like nomads, like they don't really have a place to live. Why do they reject the way Grandma Smith like allowed them to stay in Phoenix, and then they're like, you know what, we're done with this? What's up with that? What's Rex and Rosemary's mindset regarding Grandma Smith? Josh, you know? Okay. If you know, Josh, and you can't like say it because you can't turn on your mic, then you can type it into the chat. Yeah. Okay. Then that way you can participate. Alkahi, I think you know. What is it? Throw out a guess.
What was the question?
About Grandma Smith. Like what?
More about her.
Why do the parents reject Grandma Smith? Like they just had to go back to Phoenix because they had nowhere else to go. So why Grandma Smith? What's up with that relationship between them?
I don't know. The parents are sort of like free spirits, and then the grandma's all like, no laughing in my house and whatnot, and then the whole Brian.
What does Grandma
weird.
represent to Rex and Rosemary? Okay, so some of this has to be in your notes, yeah? Like, they moved to Phoenix, right? It seems like they're kind of having a normal life because at least they're living in a house, in a neighborhood, right? Dad's still doing his own thing, right? It's kind of abusive, right? But at least they have a house, right? There's a little bit in there about Rosemary and her mom kind of like, they have this thing where Rosemary's mom had expectations of her. You guys remember? Did Rosemary want to fulfill them? Okay, no, right? She's an artist, right? She's not going to be whatever her mother wanted her to be. She wanted to be her own self, right? And that's kind of the cool part about them as parents, is that they're going to allow their kids to also be themselves. Okay. But it comes with other prices to pay. So what we have here is we have Grandma Smith being the typical expectations of what she wanted her daughter, Rosemary, to grow up in, right? Who has an extra house, right? So they must have some kind of money. Rosemary refuses to accept handouts, okay? So then what, right? They're like, let's get out of here. The house is falling apart, right? Because they've wrecked it. And now they're going to Welsh. How long does it take them to get to Welsh? You
A
guys-
month.
Is it a month or is it like half a year?
I thought it was a month.
Yeah.
That's
It
what I
took
read.
them a while. Why?
They took like the scenic route.
Right. They needed to go and check out all the sites because they thought that Rosemary thought that, you know, this is part of education. Let's go see how wonderful the great outdoors is, right? And then they make their way to Appalachian Mountains. Okay, so let's just quickly go around and talk about the resilience letter. Okay, you had to select a character that needed the most at this point in section 3. Okay, so we're gonna start with Caleb. Go ahead.
I wrote about Jeanette because like when she's like moving around and when she moved to like the new school, she got bullied. She was getting beat up in like a corner. So I thought she needed the most because she was getting bullied and the situation with her dad, like he went back to drinking, so she's going through like, a hard time right now.
Right. And we find out, like, obviously the dad's going to drink because of all, like, the childhood
Yeah.
baggage, right? Okay. All right. Alkahi. Yeah. Okay. So, Kalahikiola, what could you just kind of talk about yours and then you can just resubmit yours since it's like hard to see?
Well, I wrote to Rex was and kind of said like how he should be there more for his children, kind of with this like constant drinking habits and always disappearing
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. And then Joshua. Are you gonna type it in or can you talk?
Hello?
Yes?
Wait, what was the question?
Go ahead and talk about your resilience letter, who and why. Who did you write to?
I think I wrote to Rex Walls. I think he because they're having trouble with money.
Mhm.
I think I think he should do better, I guess. Is basically what I wrote about.
Okay. All right. And then Kahele Aulani, go ahead.
I wrote to Jeanette about Irma because she was giving her like a hard time. So yeah.
Okay. All right, and Hayden.
I wrote to Rex because he was having problems with drinking, and I'm sure he was having a hard time too. And he needed to be there for his children.
Right. I really appreciated your letter. It was pretty solid, pretty positive. So thank you. All right. Let's move on here. If you guys have your phones, it's probably easiest to do it this way, but we're gonna play a Kahoot. Okay. So I think you guys know it's faster to play Kahoot when you have your phone for some reason. So we'll just.
My dad took my phone.
Okay.
I have bad grades.
Go ahead and like get onto Kahoot.com and then we'll get going here. Just 10 questions, no big deal. Okay, you guys can see them. Now we're all here, right? Ready. Okay, easy one. Caleb. Oh, where do they go? Where do they go before? There's someplace they go in between. Where is that? Alkahi, where?
Phoenix.
Phoenix, Arizona. Anybody been with Phoenix? No? Super hot there. If there's one thing you need to know about Arizona is that plenty KS graduates go to Grand Canyon University, which is in Arizona. It's super hot over there. Okay, next. Ooh. Billy goat. Yeah, mountain goat. Who called
Laws of Billy Goat.
Billy goat? Yeah. Nice. Come on, Josh. Why did they leave Battle Mountain, Hayden?
I kind of forget, but yeah, I'm gonna guess, and I think it was because Grandma Smith died and they had a house now or something. Or
Well,
I forget.
yeah. What was it?
Billy or whatever his name was.
Yeah. Remember?
Oh yeah, they had the shootout with Billy. Let's go.
And then the police was like, "Hey, you gotta come down to the court," and they're like, "Heck no, we're out of here," right? Because they don't do court stuff, right? They don't do regular law-abiding things. Okay, Kahele, you on fire, girl. Okay, you gotta move the pieces around. So it has to be in order. Ooh. Okay, everybody got this. The ones who answered, right? They're gonna end up in Welsh, right? They start in California in the small town of Blythe. They start moving east to Battle Mountain, then up to Phoenix, then back east to Welsh. Ooh, all right. Grandma Irma, does she like being called Grandma Irma?
No,
No. Do we like Grandma Irma?
not at all.
No, she's an old pervert.
Yes, she is. What? I'm gonna give extra credit points. Oh. Who said Lori? Okay. Why? What does Lori do?
What?
She slaps Irma.
Yeah, she kind of.
Jeanette got there first.
Yeah, but Lori comes in and what?
Slaps the grandma
It's
around.
that double crack, don't mess with me no more. You know what I'm saying?
Lori's the older sister, right? And she's gotta protect her siblings. But yes, you're right. You're right. Jeanette goes and like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then she's like, "I'm gonna go grab Lori," right? And Lori comes and flexes on that fish. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. That was kind of a trick question. Okay, I'm not sure if you can consider them, living in Irma's basement with creepy uncle, right, and creepy grandma, right? That might not be the best place for them. Okay. Ooh. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo works. Eeny, meeny. Oh, very good. Very good. First grade. Okay. She's in the 5th grade. She's old enough to know. She's definitely trying to like establish herself in school. Okay, even though like she's got raggedy clothes, dirty face, right? She's trying to do her best in school. But Yeah, it's totally getting bullied, right? Ooh. Okay, let's do this. Last one. Thanks. Somebody never read. Okay, so why, right? The question is why? Why don't they protect? Okay, why don't they believe, right? Their parents. Why don't they believe their own children? Why would you make something up like that, right? Does anybody know why?
Is it because like they're living in Irma's house, so they kind of had to like show respect before they get kicked out? I don't know.
Probably. I mean, that would be reasonable, I guess. But I think that's the only reason, right? They would do that. Like, why would any parent not believe their kid, right? If something like that happened. And it wasn't like there was just one kid, like it kind of happened to all three of them. Okay. So this is a really sad moment in their lives where their parents are not believing them and protecting their own children. Okay. So it's extra credit points. All right. Hey, thanks for playing. All right, let's go to our modules. Okay, so for section 4, we what I did was I gave you the map of where they're headed towards. Okay, does anybody know anything about West Virginia? Yeah, so it's like in West Virginia kind of has the is part of like the Appalachian Mountain range, right? And so it goes from like way up north. So if you guys can look at the map, you guys see the map, right? Okay, it goes from way up north and it goes all the way down. Okay, kind of like how the Rocky Mountains start in Canada and they go all the way down. Okay, so has anybody been to the East Coast before? No. Really? Interesting. Okay. Anybody? No? Nobody's been to the East Coast. Okay. So anyway, it's real green. There's lots of hills. This is where they do a lot of like mining, coal mining. Okay. So if you know anything about being a coal, does anybody know anything about mining coal? Kahele, Aulani, do you know anything? Have you seen any movies that dealt with like people in the coal mining business? No. Okay. It's a rough life. Okay. Yeah, they can make money, but the impact of like working down in the coal mines is tremendous. All that black like dust from the coal gets into their lungs, and the miners end up like having really bad lung disease. Okay, so it's a really rough, tough life. Okay, if you look on the left hand side, so this is a picture of Welsh, what it kind of looks like. Have you guys gotten a chance to look at the town? Not yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do a Google Earth. Actually, you know what? We can do this in an easy way. Try go previous, okay, and then in the work time reminder, just click on this Welsh, West Virginia right here, and then it will take you there. So the beautiful part about technology, right, is that we can see what this looks like, right? And so it's super green. If you look, there's little towns, right? They play football against these little towns, right? They play against each other. Okay, but this is Welsh right here, okay? And if you guys zoom in, you can totally see that the town is only so small. Look at that. That's it, okay? That's it. Maybe one thing I want you to do is type in 93 Hobart Street. Okay. There we go. So if you check it out, you can kind of get a feel for what this place looks like. Look at you. Okay, so people have real like modest houses. They don't have like, you know, these beautiful like winter cottages or anything like that. It's just regular folk, working people, okay? Real interesting. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. So as you guys kind of check out Welsh, okay, you know that it's a small town. You know that there's not much to it. Okay, the downtown area, very interesting. Okay, you check it out. So this is where the majority of the book is going to take place until they go on to New York. Okay, so you can kind of see what this looks like. I mean, it's a really old town. Okay. All right, so let's look. Okay, so let's go back to our modules for this week. You have, okay, in your student packet, you're going to be answering questions from page 17 to 19. Okay, make sure that you add some page numbers and direct quotes. Okay, does everybody have their notebook and their packet? Yeah, okay. So turn to those pages, please. Okay, so page 17, right? So we're gonna just write some of these things down, right? I mean, like, look at number 1. Let's go ahead and just answer number 1 if you haven't already. In the beginning of Welsh, what foreshadowing clues indicate life there will be more difficult for the family? Right? Okay, so we know first of all that what? The dad didn't want to go. Okay, so we can write that down. What else? Go to page 131. Okay, go to page 131 and scan that page. Okay, go to the break in the page where it starts with we followed Irma and Stanley and Grandpa inside. Everybody there? Grab your book. Right? Says it was cold in the house. Right? Everybody have their book? Okay. Page 131. Right? It was cold in the house, and the air smelled of mold and cigarettes and unwashed laundry. So already they know this place is not very hygienic. Yeah. We huddled around a pot-bellied cast iron coal stove in the middle of the living room and held out our hands to warm them. Irma pulled a bottle of whiskey from the pocket of her house dress, and Dad looked happy for the first time since we left Phoenix. So we already know, right? It's gonna be rough, right? So already right there, right? There's a bottle of whiskey that Grandma pulled out of her dress. Okay. And then the description of how she prepared dinner, right, tells us a whole nother story of the kind of poverty they're living in. Okay, so as you guys go through, you should be able to answer all of these questions, okay? We're looking for details that describe Irma's racist tirades and the molestation allegations spurred the Wall's children to change from passive observers. Go ahead and circle those words. Passive observers. We're on the number 2, to active participants in their lives and their future. So, although they're living this hard life, right? They become kind of like active in, no, we're not going to do that, right? And so sometimes, when bad things happen, we also got to look at what comes out of it, right? What is coming out of this situation, right? They're learning how to stand up for themselves. They're learning how to fight back, right? In a life that, has been really rough for them, right? They're learning how to fight back, and that's important. That's important because they can take that resilience and be successful later, okay? So even with you guys, we're talking about we're not in regular school. Yeah, we're not in regular school. So what are we going to do about it, right? We gotta do our best, right? And they're trying to do their best, and you're going to see that things are going to happen, okay? So number 4, describe why Jeanette Bevins is such a key figure in both Jeanette and Rex's lives. Also, how does newspaper and her role on the newspaper positively impact Jeanette, right? Did we get to that point yet? No. Okay, so we're headed towards her becoming a high school student. Okay, so be prepared to take notes, answer these questions. Okay, very important. You have up till questions 8, okay? All the way up to 8. So that's why you have 17, 18, and 19, okay? Can? Okay, so that's all you're doing for your reading, okay? The other thing that I'm gonna have you guys do is this other assignment, okay? And this is you guys writing your own memoir for your own glass castle, okay? So if you guys look, I'm just gonna read to you guys follow along, okay? It says Rex Walls, a main character in the Glass Castle, dreams of building a mansion for his family. When times are rough, he pulls out the blueprints and dreams up additions to his castle. The children even have a say in their bedrooms, the layout, etc. The Glass Castle is not a real place, yet it provides an escape for the Walls family. Considering the homes and places they occupy, this escape is something that provides hope and strength and strengthens the family bond, right? Everybody's in it, right? Until they're not, right? Is this glass castle cracking? Okay. Will it crumble? So here's your assignment. You're gonna first think about an aspect of your current home or childhood home that is your escape from the rest of the household. You're gonna write a one-page description of your glass castle. So we wanna focus on descriptive language for this, this memoir piece, right? So I need you guys to really bring in those 5 senses. I'm gonna tell you guys up front, do not use cliches, all right? In meaning, like, I can't even think of a cliche right now, but like things that are overused, right? And the best childhood ever. Okay, like what, right? Okay, I want you guys to dive deep into this because it's really not about a place, right? It's more like a mindset. So think about that. It doesn't have to be a real place, okay? What you're also going to be doing, it says that you're going to be, look at the 3rd bullet down. You're going to be taking a picture, or you can draw the picture, or you can find the picture of this place. It's up to you, okay? You're going to just add that to the bottom of your memoir piece, okay? You're not obviously going to mount your photograph, okay, of this place, okay? So here's a couple reminders. Go ahead and make sure that you have this strong hook, right, at the very beginning. Make people want to read on, okay? You're gonna use a variety of transitions and transitional phrases. So we're just not gonna say like, and then, right? Or one, and then after that, okay? We need to make sure that the transitions deal with maybe time or place, okay? Watch for redundancy. So as you guys write, I would just suggest you just write and then go back and look at these reminders, okay? That would be most helpful because then you can do a little bit of revision. I don't want you to be explicit by saying, yes, this place is important to me because blah, blah, blah. This is not an essay piece. This is a memoir piece. So you're going to be telling me the story about this place, right? You're going to be maybe gathering bits of memories and folding them all together to explain, right? Okay, so here we go. You can use one image as a minimum, but if you have more pictures, that's fine, okay? But we're not gonna be creating the board, a poster board. So don't even like worry about the poster board thing, okay? Because we're not in class anyway. So if you guys look, this is your very straightforward rubric for what I'm looking for, okay? Writing components. So let's just look at exemplary, so because we want to shoot for that, yeah? Addresses prompt and includes a clearly presented central idea with relevant facts, details, and explanations. Okay, skillfully incorporates a variety of sentence structures to enhance meaning. So I have given you a video for this, so no big deal. Okay, you're gonna watch the video and then review this. English conventions. So I noticed in your guys' handwritten letters that you guys have some misspellings. Yeah, like when Rex Walls loses his job, it's not loses his job, it's loses, right? So lose the double O, right? We gotta have just one O. Loose is different from lose. Okay. And then what else? Poster. Never mind the poster. Just make sure you have some kind of picture. Can ya? Okay. So let's go to your memoir collection. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look. Okay, you should have your first memoir piece, right? That would be the place memoir. Okay, I retitled mine as Boiled Red Hot Dog on a Chopstick. Okay, so if you can find a really cool title for your memoir collection, that would be awesome. Okay. And then what I have here is, remember we're dropping in pictures. This Knight Rider kid. Okay, and then I have my version of my glass castle. Okay. So you guys ready for story time? Okay, so as you think about this, okay, I'm gonna read mine. You guys think about that place where you find a place of hope, a place that is important to you. Okay, here you go. A veteran paddler once offered unsolicited advice. The trick to the rudderless is just letting her go where she wants. Don't fight it. That's the thing with paddling. The topic is synonymous with life. Some people call her Hilo Bay, but the real people who know her call her Hilo One. If I could bottle up all of the blessings that Hilo One has offered me and heal the people who are really hurting inside, I would give them the gift of Hilo One. Don't get me wrong, Hilo One has also taken from me too. It took time away from being with people that mattered the most. It convinced me that the ocean was more important than the time I could have spent with my grandma Nancy. See, the ocean is mesmerizing and persuaded me to believe the world of paddling brought me joy. Clearly, paddling on the bay still brings me joy. It has opened my eyes. The moving in sync, in perfect timing, translates to feeling as if I'm one with the world. Oh, you should see the endless pictures on my camera album. The pictures that have captured the definition of beauty. The way the light breaks through the clouds reminds me of the glory life has to offer. The way the sky can transition from the bluest blues to the darkest of gray clouds teaches me that they exist together. There are lessons all around. The secret to learning these lessons is that one has to be open to learning. Look up, be grateful. The way the weather and water conditions change within minutes has taught me about paying attention and the valuable lesson of when to turn around and head to shore. These lessons are metaphoric. Things in life shouldn't be forced. Paddling has taught me that. It has taught me to find the currents of life, and that sometimes, in fact, most times, patience will carry me farther. In the years of paddling, I know one thing is for sure. Paddling can heal people. Every year, new faces show up to the black sand of Hilo One. They all show up with the same look of uncertainty as they dig their toes in the sand and try to remain invisible at the beginning of their first practice. The story of these new faces are all the same. They come down to the famous waters of Hilo One to rinse off their past. And by the end of the season, their story comes out. A divorce, a void to fill, or some kind of change are the stories that have compelled them to show up at the beach to paddle. Paddling is not for the weak. Hands rip and bleed along with other parts of the body that sit on the seat of the canoe. If the coach tells you to do one more sprint, you do it. And you paddle the hardest during that last sprint, because we all know that we all must finish strong. Paddling is not for the ones who sway in the wind. A paddler's feet must be firmly planted in the ground along with the values that have raised you. After all, paddling is not just a sport, as the past has held onto the mo'olelo of your ancestors. Paddling was born out of necessity to win wars, to conquer, to survive. I have crossed the Kaiwi Channel 4 times. 42 miles of smiles, as they say. I crossed the channel each time because in the past, the powers that be said that women could not paddle the 42 miles. They said it was too dangerous. Well, from what I have heard, giving birth can be dangerous too, but women do it all the time. The evidence of women being tough is in their daily survival. Watch them live another day in the 365 days of a year. Don't tell me they can't cross a silly channel. Challenges of having 10 committed women cross a channel is immense. Women have things to do. They take care of kids, their families, and lastly, themselves. The hours of training it takes to compete in the Navahine is nuts. 2 to 4 hours a day of practice 4 times a week, and the training with a full days of work leaves little time for anything else. And yet we make it happen. We run and lift before practice, followed by a 2-hour practice. If you ever need to find me in the summertime, I'm at Hilo'one. This calls for a small miracle. Our crew has placed in the top 10 during the last 2 years, and we have paid the price in more ways than just earning a respectable place at the finish line at Waikiki. Sometimes I wonder if it was all worth it. Hilo'one has been my glass castle for the last 13 years. Although I don't have the same stories of healing that some of the other women have, I carry the lessons of life that the ocean has instilled within me. Even though I sacrificed many hours on the water, only to look back at what I should have been doing, the smile and amazement my grandma had when I showed her the pictures and video of paddling are all worth it. Many times when I look up while paddling in Hilo'one, a white manu flies over. I just know it's my grandma. She lets me know that I'm safe and encourages me when I'm having a tough day. Hilo'one is my glass castle. Okay, so when you're finding that place, right? I mean, obviously, right? I just can't stop taking pictures of the bay. Every day it looks different. Every day there's something new. Okay, so I paddle with like a girl gang of paddlers. We spread out, we make sure we're safe. But I mean, the images are incredible. Okay. So with that, what I want you guys to do, okay, is this. You guys have your notebooks? Yeah. Okay, so let's write this down. Can you guys see this? Go ahead and title in your notebooks, Glass Castle of My Own Pre-Writing Activity. We're just gonna do this in our notebooks. Okay, what I wanna do is just kind of set you up before we leave today. Okay, so create a list of possible places or things, okay? So this is where it can be a physical place, or it can be someplace that is in your memory or in your mind, right? Maybe that place doesn't exist any longer, okay? So when you choose this place, okay, go ahead and also write down a why, just a quick why. Okay, maybe you have one or two places. You don't have to write a third one if you don't have one. This place should be a really special place where you can just kind of heal, kind of rejuvenate yourself, kind of find your footing again, okay? Where is that place that brings you the most hope, right? So as you guys know, the glass castle plays an important role in the Walls' life because they are living such I don't know, challenging life. Okay, so come up with 3. Once you're done, okay, just for right now, you're gonna pick one of them, okay? It's okay if you change your mind after you're done with this pre-writing activity, but let's just choose one for now. So my example, right? Was okay, so what I would like you to do is choose one. So I'm gonna choose, right, obviously Hilo One. Okay, and then after you select one, okay, what I want you to do is create this box. It's gonna be a pretty big box, okay? And what I'm gonna have you guys do is do some metaphoric comparisons so that you have a way to talk about this, right? So whatever it is, so you're gonna say where that place is. Blank is and then we're gonna place the type of person in here because, and then why. Does that make sense? So for me, if I write Ilo One, is I'm gonna choose a type of person. So I'm gonna choose a teacher. Does that make sense? Okay. Why? Because and so that would be the way I would do this. Okay, so the next box would be weather. So as you guys can see, I chose Hilo One is both, right? The bluest sky, right? The bluest of the blues, along with the darkest of the gray clouds, right? And they both coexist together, right? And that in itself has meaning because that means there's good and bad, right? There's a yin and a yang, there's balance, right? And I think if I were to revise this thing called paddling, right? I would add in the lesson of balance. We flipped over and almost drowned at the end of the finish line. Like we had like one more mile. Last year we had one more mile and we were like sprinting toward the finish line and we flipped. And we're breathing hard. And as we flip, like we get in the water and we can't even catch our breath. All of us, all the six of us in that canoe. We had no idea we flipped. It was crazy. That's how hard we were paddling. And I swear I almost drowned. It was crazy, right? And so to talk about balancing, right? So the weather, right? Why? We're talking about Hilo One is what? The blue skies and the gray skies, right? The blue skies and the gray clouds. Why? Because it's about the balance, right? That two things can exist at the same time, right? Next would be an idea. So as you talk about ideas, so you might want to just create this chart first so that you have it, okay? So the idea is going to be like maybe a concept, yeah, or something that's an abstract noun. Okay? So what I mean by that would be like, you know, something you can't touch, something that's within you, right? So Hilo One is what? You might have to take out the right? Hilo One is what, right? Life lessons. Hilo One is what, right? So we're trying to compare this to a bigger thing, right? Hilo One is what it feels like to heal, okay? Something like that, okay? And then the last comparison would be a food or a thing. I say food because you can use candy, right? I don't know if you guys like candy. I really don't like candy, but I really like hard candy for some reason. I don't like chocolate. Okay, so you can say Hilo One is what, right? What kind of food or a thing? Okay, so that one's kind of like open. If you can't think of anything, you can compare it to something else, right? Okay, how does this look? You guys good? So this is your brainstorming, right? How do I talk about my glass castle, right? I want you to use these comparisons. I believe you guys have access. Do you guys have access to my collection, my memoir collection? Okay, so you guys can kind of check that out. Do you have, everybody? Yeah, ish, no? Okay, all right, as we go back to your module, okay, I'm gonna hit the next button. And this is the where you're gonna drop your assignment, okay? You're gonna add to your memoir collection 2020, and then you're gonna just submit your draft. Okay, this is for completion points. But what I did also was I dropped in the video to help you guys with varying your sentences. Okay, so you're gonna take some time to look at this and then do a quick revision and then submit it, okay? Got it? So this is like your, I don't know what you want to call this, your asynchronous time to learn, right? So you just click on this, you take notes. There are going to be 5. So go ahead in your notebooks, write down sentence variation. Okay, so go ahead and do that, sentence variation. Okay, next page. Hayden, you better be doing this. Okay. Okay, so title it sentence variation, and then number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down, but skip about maybe 3 lines, and then write 1, then skip 3 lines, 2, so that you can take notes already. Okay, there's going to be 5 different types of sentences. The last one, go ahead on number 5, go ahead and star number 5, because the last one, I don't know. The last suggestion on how to vary sentences is kind of weird to me. I don't know if you can work it in somehow and it sounds okay, great. Okay, but I'm going to challenge you guys to add in membean words and to vary your sentences a little bit. Okay, we're working on making our writing better. Okay, so you're going to add in some metaphors, you're going to add in some sentence variation and some membean. Ken? Okay, so before we go, let's go ahead and just kind of talk about where your glass castle is. Okay, so I guess we could start with Kalahikiola. What are you thinking about?
It's beach in Kilkaha. It's
Oh,
called Secrets because it's secret.
okay.
Yeah.
Why?
It's kind of like hidden a little bit. Like there's a trail you have to walk to get to it.
Oh, I know.
Then everybody knows about it.
So why is that your place? Why is that your glass castle?
It's kind of like it's just like where we go a lot. So it's kind of like we're familiar with the place. So it's like yeah, it's kind of just like
That's your place.
yeah, it's like my stomping grounds a little bit, but not really.
Right on. Okahi, what about you?
There's this road in Waimea called Mud Lane.
Mud
So I ride my bike a lot. Go there to relax.
Yeah. I know where that is. Cool. Very cool. All right. Who's next? Caleb?
Mine's is not really a place. It's kind of like a thing. It's like basketball. And just like clears my mind.
Yes. Oh, and there's some days where like all the shots go in.
Yeah.
All swishes, right? And then other days it's just bricks. Like,
Yeah.
can't find the basket. Yeah. Yes, Hayden. Yeah. Where's your glass castle?
If I pick one place, it would most definitely be the one and only beach that everybody surfs at when we leave. Let's go.
Yeah. Where the locals at?
Huh? Oh, I don't know. Thought Kalal was one, but
I know,
it's
right? I went there the other day and I was like, oh my goodness. You gotta be kidding me. Don't worry.
yeah, a lot of people been going there, especially because of the pandemic. There's so many places that like can go. So
Yeah. Why did they block it off? That's messed up. Hello, Lani.
Can it be a whole district?
It could be wherever, girl. It's yours. It's your glass castle.
Oh, okay. Mine is Kona.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Because my mom and I sometimes like go there on the weekends and just like drive around and stuff.
Cool. Like even the drive there is awesome. Yeah. It's peaceful. Okay. I don't know. Let's see if Josh is here. Josh? Hi, Josh. Oi. Josh, you have a glass castle? All right. Okay, so how are we doing? Oh, poor thing. Okay, Josh. We can meet tomorrow. All right, so let's close up class. Membine, right? Membine, 3 sessions. Okay, your assignments. Some of you guys turning in your assignments late. Okay, we don't do late work. Okay. I don't know. I got one email, something about lickings. Okay, don't turn your work in late. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm trying to do this. And you know what? I'm going to apologize to you guys right now because last week I think I gave you guys a lot of things to do. Yes or no? You're like, I don't know, I didn't do it. Okay. But
Aiden can handle.
yeah, I think you guys can handle, but it just depends, right? If you got to wake up a little bit early to get it done, then get it done. Okay. Find a way to fight back. Okay. Be Lori. Be Lori and kick butt, not your own. Okay. I think that we need to make sure that your work is in before the next class, right? So it's set before the next class, right? So you guys all gotta plan yourselves out accordingly, okay? I'm depending on you guys to read, break it up, take notes, okay? We gotta prepare. We're preparing for college, you guys, okay? So you guys gotta get on it. And then email me anytime you have a question, okay? Tomorrow in the morning, if you guys need help, I will be here to help you, okay? So let's work it out, okay? All right, before I leave, I want to just talk to Al-Kahi after, just for a little bit, okay? And then everybody else, you guys good to go? Don't forget your membing, okay? Try to do the bulk of your work tomorrow. Okay, mahalo, bye. Bye, Kala. Bye,
I
Hin. Okay, Al-Kahi, unmute.
Hello.
What is going on with your work?
The membing, I just forgot that was a thing.
You need a post-it note and you gotta like make
Yeah.
this membing you're gonna do from your freshman year all the way to your senior year, okay?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did like, I think 40 minutes yesterday though.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. We gotta get that done. So it's just 3 sessions. So do one today, do one tomorrow, and then do one the next day, and you're done. Okay. What else? Where's your resilience letter?
Oh, I didn't do that.
I know, what's going on? Like these things should be, because it seems like you read, so you should be able to quickly do one, no?
I don't know. I'm not sure what advice to give them. Like,
Yeah, so
I don't know.
be specific on like who you want to write it to, first of all, right? Like Jeanette would be an easy one, but also like Rex Walls, the dad or the mom, like, hey, we need them to show up here. Their kids are suffering, you know? Okay. And how do you like pick somebody else up, right? So we're learning about, we're kind of using empathy to maybe give some love back to somebody else, right? Give some support back to somebody else, right? So with that, you would add in like things you learned from Nainoa Thompson's story, right? About resilience. Oh yeah, you can hit rock bottom, but that doesn't mean you stay there, right? Find people to help you, something like that, right? I mean, like, you gotta choose a person, you gotta choose something to say, and then give some advice. Okay, so there's that. Your grades are looking super ugly right now. I'm sure it's lower than a 30% right now. Do you get bad grades?
Hmm?
You usually get bad grades, or are you usually okay?
Usually okay.
Okay, so how can we fix this? Because
But like online school is taking.
say that again.
Online school takes hits out of my grades though.
Yeah. So you gotta figure out ways to be successful, yeah, because who knows how long we're gonna be doing this. Okay, so need you to like really take responsibility for your work.
Okay.
So if you look, what I'm trying to do now is like, I'm trying to just give you like 2 assignments because I think that's manageable along with Membeing. Okay. But I need you to focus. Like when you're doing your work, just focus and do it and get it done. Okay. So if you got to write down some notes and like stick it on your wall or do something like that, you got to do it. Okay. I'm pretty sure that you want to do other things, but you got to like make some priorities here. Okay. Make those tough calls, make those sacrifices. Can?
Think so.
Hey, you got to, right? There's no other
Yeah.
option. Okay. Unless you go and get kicked out of your room again and be in a hiding room. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure your parents are depending on you to take responsibility because they're working. Okay. So you got to like do. Can?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm going to tomorrow, by the end of block 1, I'm going to have you, I need you to turn in like work from last week. Okay. So the resilience letter, and then did you submit your other assignment?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So just do the resilience letter then. Okay. And then Membeing, we got to start doing the Membeing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You can do it. I have faith in you. Okay. And then also like, because you only have 3 sessions, like you should be able to do it like, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or something like that and get it done with, right? Okay. All right, buddy. Okay, do your work and then email me when you're done so that I can go back and grade it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right.